Hey everyone, it's Blake. Welcome into episode number 4 of our WWF Invasion 2001 save in TEW9. This is SmackDown for May 8th, 2001. The road to Judgment Day continues, coming off of our first couple shows. A big sort of blockbuster ending to Raw is War, as it was Eric Bischoff debuting on WWE television for the first time and standing in the ring with Vince McMahon, shaking hands, and a big hug as we went off the air between these two. Now we kick off SmackDown with what will be a huge edition of SmackDown as we continue to move forward towards Judgment Day. All right, commentary reveals that we are going to have Triple H defending the Intercontinental Championship against Kane. That's the main event for SmackDown. Of course, this comes off the heels of last week, as it was Kane hitting the chokeslam on Triple H, Kane almost teasing, potentially doing it to Stephanie, and also picking up the Intercontinental Championship, throwing it at Triple H, and then we had Triple H kind of ranting to Vince McMahon on the phone about wanting Vince to make the match. So the match is official. Triple H is going to put up the Intercontinental Championship here against Kane. That will be our main event, 77 here for this one. And then we do get the footage of Austin and Triple H arriving at the arena, and they are really ranting right now as you have Triple H yelling about his frustration with how he's going to finish things once and for all with Kane. You have Steve Austin yelling about The Undertaker, and then Austin's just going off about yelling for Vince. Vince, where are you? And then he starts, talking about under his breath, Bischoff. Like, Austin's just, he's losing it here because he's got a lot of things he wants to address, seemingly, with a lot of different people, whether it's The Undertaker, Vince McMahon, Eric Bischoff, and Triple H trying to keep his focus on Kane in that Intercontinental Championship match. So we have these two looking for Vince, but cannot seem to find him just yet. 84 here for this segment. All right. Now we start things off match-wise with the team that wasn't our main event on Raw is War, and that's the Dudley Boyz. And the Dudley Boyz do come out and get the win over Right to Censor, the Good Father, and Bull Buchanan. After it is Bubba getting the pin on Bull Buchanan with the Dudley Death Drop. We kind of do storytelling here as the aim. Of course, we have to have one of those on every show. But we do it for this one to kind of play up the fact that we're seeing the Dudleys coming out, a bit frustrated, right? After losing their tag team championship opportunity to the two-man power trip, Triple H and Austin. So we have them come out kind of on a mission here, and they do get the win over Right to Censor. So a very angry Dudley pair here coming out of this match. 51 here for this one. And then we go backstage, and it's Michael Cole with the Big Show. And we have, of course, the Big Show intertwined with the verbal onslaught from Vince McMahon recently about Big Show not being able to get the job done against Shane. And so Michael Cole asked Big Show, what is Vince talking about when he says that you owe him one? What does that even mean? And Cole just keeps trying to get information out of Big Show, but Big Show will not reveal anything. And Show just kind of tells, basically says he has nothing to say about things right now. And that's kind of all Michael Cole, trying to be an astute journalist here. But Michael Cole cannot get anything out of the Big Show here as to what he owes Vince McMahon. So not sure what that is. Maybe we'll find out at some point. Cole underperforms here. So after that, we go to commercial. We come back. Michael Cole has now made his way to the ring, and he reveals, that his guests are the Hardy Boyz. Matt Hardy has requested, some time out here, and it is Matt Hardy coming out, and Michael Cole is asking him about the European title situation. We saw what happened on Raw. He couldn't find his championship. Cole was the one who sort of, kind of revealed. He's like, "Where's your title?" Hardy didn't have it. He still doesn't have his European title. So he comes out here, and Michael Cole trying to get to the bottom of this. And so he calls out the person who stole his title. As you can see here, let's get to 63. Jeff, terrible with dialogue as we made this unscripted, which I knew would not help matters with Jeff, but Edge wanted it to be unscripted, so we just did it that way, and it was fine. We gained a little heat from the storyline. Again, another one that's not going to reach hot level just yet, but we're doing everything we can to try to get there. But Matt, again, is trying to figure out who is gotten his title. So Edge and Christian come out, and they have a box. And, of course, it's a box that's big enough to hold, perhaps, a European Championship. And so they come out, and they reveal that they have a gift for Matt Hardy. They know he's been looking for this. And so they have it for him. They are going to give him his European title. And so Edge and Christian come out. They've got the box here, and they reveal inside the box is one of the little, cardboard, plastic, whatever they were, championships you used to could buy on the WWF back in the day. And it's just those little, maybe it's foam. Foam is what I'm looking for. One of the little foam championships, the foam European title. And they have put a foam European title from WWF shop. They have put this inside the box. Matt not too happy about this. Jeff also not too happy about this. Jeff takes aim at Christian. He hauls off on him. We got Edge and Matt Hardy throwing haymakers here. So these guys are balling around the ring. And so we finally sort of get Edge and Christian kind of retreating a little bit. But JR and Heyman, we kind of hear the back and forth about how Jeff is challenging Christian to a match. So he's stepping up. Christian was the one who did the big reveal here. And so Jeff's challenging Christian to a match. We are going to get an impromptu match here. Jeff Hardy and Christian, 63 for the segment. And in this one, gets a 71. You would have expected that, right, with these two guys. So at least we get a little bit of heat gained in this storyline. But it is Jeff getting the win over Christian here after the Senton Bomb. So pretty much straight up match here. You do have Edge and Matt ringside, but it is Jeff able to get the win here, coming off of the foam fiasco with the foam championship belt. So we still don't know where the European title is, but we do know that Jeff has defeated Christian here, and that's not going to make Edge and Christian happy, as you would expect. So 71 for this segment. All right, then we get a backstage segment where we see Kurt Angle all by himself. As Kurt Angle is in one of the locker rooms, and then in walk Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. So we know they've been on a tear trying to find Vince McMahon, and Angle is sitting there. They walk in and want to know what he's doing there. Well, Angle says he's waiting for Vince too. He has a lot to discuss before his match with Scotty 2 Hotty here in just a little bit. And then we see Austin kind of make his way up to Angle and say, Scotty 2 Hotty. And Angle says, yes, I have a match with Scotty 2 Hotty. Did you see what I did to those guys last week? I hit the Olympic Slam. And Austin stops him and says, you go from losing to The Undertaker to losing to Kane. Now you're going to face Scotty 2 Hotty. That's how you're going to try to prove yourself, Kurt Angle. And Angle just said, well, I didn't lose to Kane. It was actually a double count out. Austin just tells him to shut up, right? So you got these two going back and forth verbally. And Angle just says, well, Steve, I also came here because I want to know what's going on with Eric Bischoff. And Stone Cold says, don't you ever say the words Eric Bischoff around me. And so these two are just going back and forth, right? You get where we're going at here. And so Triple H tells him to shut the hell up. Like Triple H says, I have to focus. I've got my Intercontinental Championship match later with Kane. That should be what we're focused on. And Angle says, yeah, you're right. We should be focusing on that. And Triple H says, not you, Kurt. Me and Steve. We're focused on that. We advise you get out of here. And Angle says he's not going anywhere. He's waiting for Vince because he wants to tell him something about Eric Bischoff, and he wants Vince to watch his match with Scotty 2 Hotty. So these three going back and forth here gets an 88, and we'll get the payoff for this here shortly. All right, then we get Rhino versus Raven, the Hardcore Championship. Rhino does defeat Raven, and so Rhino's still your champion, gets the spear, 5:30. We go short here. We had to have, of course, a match aimed at Hardcore or Wild Brawl or whatever, so this was one of those. So Rhino getting the win over Raven, still your Hardcore Champion, defense number 2 of the Hardcore title. Not a lot other than that, to be honest with you. Raven off his game, so that didn't help. But Rhino, still 69. Nice rating here for his in-ring performance, so we'll take that for our Hardcore Champion. All right, now, here it is. So, Vince and Eric Bischoff have arrived, and here comes Vince McMahon and Eric Bischoff, still a sight to be seen. We just do not know what to make of this whole thing. Why were Vince and Eric Bischoff shaking hands and hugging in the middle of the ring at the end of Raw is War? We still have no idea. Vince and Bischoff walk in, and Vince just says, gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Eric Bischoff. And Austin and Triple H are just fuming in the back, right? But Kurt Angle is the first to step up, as Angle has sort of, held his ground here. He didn't leave, as asked by the two-man power trip. And it is Kurt Angle who walks up to Eric Bischoff, and Angle's just taking his head to the left. He's taking his head to the right. He's looking hard at Eric Bischoff. He's walking a circle around him. And Angle just keeps trying to get up to Eric Bischoff's face here. He's nose to nose with Bischoff. And Vince is just sitting there looking at Kurt, telling him, basically like, what is this guy doing? And Angle just says, I'm Kurt Angle. I won the Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. What are you doing here? So Angle is kind of touting his accomplishments to Eric Bischoff. And, Angle just sort of trying to intimidate Eric Bischoff here. And finally, Vince just says, Kurt, I know you've got a match. Please go get ready for your match. And then Angle just says, okay, Vince, okay. And then he circles Bischoff again, and Kurt Angle is out of there. So Angle out of the picture, which of course leaves Vince with Austin and Triple H and Eric Bischoff here. 87 for this one. And so we kind of leave it at that for now, as it's Vince sort of Angle's out of the picture. Vince sort of telling everybody, hey, let's calm down. Let's sit down for a second. I accidentally hit the button a little too quick on this, if you're wondering why I'm still talking about this and we're not on the screen. But, Vince just kind of telling everyone to cool down. He's going to tell them all about why Eric is here. And so that's kind of your tease for the next segment that we'll get to here shortly. But we do have kind of an interview here with Chris Jericho. And it is Jericho calling out William Regal and challenging him to another match. Pretty basic stuff here in terms of, Jericho telling Regal he still has not beaten him. He didn't beat him in the Duchess of Queensberry match. Without the Duchess, there's no chance that he would have beaten Jericho. And then he has beaten everybody that William Regal has thrown at him. So it's Jericho calling out Regal. We don't yet get a response from William Regal, but it's Jericho, again, bring up the fact that he basically pissed in his tea and all this other stuff. So Jericho just kind of calling out Regal. We'll see what the response is going to be from William Regal. But 68 for this one, again, kind of your basic promo on that. All right, to a match, and once again, our Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, 82 for this match, as he gets the win over Scotty 2 Hotty. 718 with the ankle lock does it. So this, again, comes off the beatdown that Angle, 2 Olympic slams that he gave to Too Cool last week on Raw. So Angle gets the win here, and we get a little bit more of a happier Kurt Angle coming out of this. We see him much more pleased at what he's done now because, he lost at Backlash, he lost to The Undertaker, and he couldn't beat Kane until we got a double count out in that one. So Angle, you can tell, some relief here coming out of it and way more happy than we've seen him, and we'll see what he has to say about that. So 82 here for the segment and the match, and good job, Kurt Angle. All right, now we get a backstage interview here, and this is just not great, but, we have to advance the story a little bit. It's the coach with Hardcore Holly and Crash Holly, and, coach is asking about their miscommunication in the recent tag team matches, and Hardcore just says, look, I apologize to Crash. I didn't mean to happen what happened last week. I don't like losing. And Holly, Hardcore just says he wants them on the same page for the match they're going to have with the APA on Raw is War. So we are going to have that match, the Hollies versus the APA. That'll take place on Raw, and Hardcore trying to get these two cousins back on the same page here as we head into that. So 41, again, I knew this wouldn't be a great rating, but we needed to throw it in there for story purposes. All right, then we are going to go backstage. So we've had Vince have the sit down here, right? He's talked to everybody, and then everybody is sort of, again, sort of standing us. We come back, we hear Vince say, does everyone understand what I just said? And you can tell there's a bit of hesitation from Austin. There's some hesitation from Triple H. And there's also some hesitation from Stephanie. And Triple H just says, I understand, Vince. I know that for you, this is a business decision, and you're working on something, and I trust that you're working on something that will benefit me and Steve and the entire McMahon-Helmsley family. But Triple H says, I don't want any distractions. I've got revenge on my mind. I'm going to go out there and beat the big red monster in Kane, and I don't want any distractions. And you see Triple H look at Eric Bischoff when he says that. And so Triple H starts to walk off, but then we see Stephanie walk up to Eric Bischoff. And Vince is just kind of, again, standing back. Triple H has walked off, seemingly to get ready for his main event match against Kane. And Stephanie walks up to Bischoff, and she just gives him kind of the smirk that you see in this image right here. And then what does Stephanie do? She hauls off and slaps Eric Bischoff right in the face. Triple H has walked off. He doesn't see this. Steve Austin's still there. We don't have him on the image here, but Austin's still in there, and you can see Austin kind of give Stephanie a little bit of a look here as she just slapped Bischoff, and Vince says, "What the hell are you doing?" And Stephanie looks at Bischoff and says, "That was for my dad." And so Stephanie walks off, and so the tension is already built here. Stephanie wants no part of Eric Bischoff. She slaps him right in the face. So they're out of the picture here. 85 here for this one, right? So then we get to, there's only 3 people left in this whole scene here, and that is Vince, Bischoff, and Austin. And it is Stone Cold Steve Austin who looks at Eric Bischoff, and then he turns his attention to Vince McMahon, and we see Austin walk up, and if you're watching at this time, you remember the trademark Steve Austin hugs. Austin walks up to Vince and gives him a huge hug, which remember, we did see last week, it was Vince and Bischoff hugging. So Austin walks up to Vince, gives him a big hug here. And then we see Stone Cold Steve Austin look over at Eric Bischoff, and he looks at Bischoff and gets in his face and says, "DTA, don't trust anybody." And Austin just looks right into Bischoff's eyes, and he kind of bumps Bischoff, with his shoulder here as he walks past him. And that is kind of how things end up here. And you see Vince looking at Bischoff, just kind of not sure what to say after the fact that Bischoff just got slapped by his daughter, and Steve Austin, basically just gave him the trademark "don't trust anybody" and walked out of there. So we know the history between Austin and Bischoff, and so there are lots of things in play here with Vince's business decision to bring in Eric Bischoff. We still don't know the details, but he's given them to Triple H, Austin, and Stephanie. We still don't know what they are, though, for now. 92 here for this segment. All right, now we get to a match that's going to bring the crowd down a little bit, and that was kind of what we needed to do. It is Trish getting the win over Terry. 57, pretty good, actually. Much better than I would have thought, to be honest with you. But again, we have to have an eye candy match on every show, so this was kind of the one that had to factor in here. So Trish gets another win, and like I said, we're building up the women's division. It is going to be a slow burn because we kind of are working on some talent, depth and those kind of things on the roster. So we'll get there, but we're just not there yet. So we need to get one of these matches on every show, and quite honestly, that's what we're trying to do at the moment. So 57 here for this one. All right, now we get backstage as we find backstage that it's XFactor who's attacking the Dudley boys before our main event tonight. And so the Dudleys, kind of the story here is that the Dudleys are getting ready to watch the main event because remember, they have the history now with Triple H and Austin after losing last week in the tag team match for the championships. So they're getting ready to watch the main event. We kind of see them in front of the TV screens there, and they're ready to watch the main event. But they get attacked by XFactor, and it's the full group here. Albert, Justin Incredible, and X-Pac. So they take him out, and then we see Albert just put Bubba Ray through a wall. So business is picked up here as XFactor has taken out the Dudley boys. We don't know why, but we do know that they have gotten the advantage here on the Dudleys here towards the end of SmackDown. So we'll see what we get to coming out of that. All right, that is going to lead us into our main event. And I'm going to do what I usually do. If you're new to the series or new to any of my series, you know that, and I know we can do this in multi-parts, but like I told you guys, I'm still getting there in terms of building up these things. It will take me probably longer than I'm willing to admit to do the multi-part angles and everything. But we are going to kind of make the angles part of the match. So, I've kind of done that in my series in the past. We're still going to do that to kind of, tell the story a bit better of these matches rather than just doing it within the match. So here we go. We're going to get into this, and business is going to pick up pretty quickly here because here's how it plays out. So Stone Cold Steve Austin tries to interfere in this match. Remember, it was all about, trying to make sure everyone is focused for this big match, Triple H against Kane, the Intercontinental Championship. And Austin tries to interfere against Kane, but you can still tell that Austin's a little bit flustered because as he's out here for this match, we see him continuing to look towards the back. And he will look at, what's going on in the ring, and then he looks towards the back. And commentary, JR and Heyman are noting, what is he looking for? Is he looking for Vince McMahon? Is he looking for Eric Bischoff? What is Austin doing? And JR just continues to say, I don't know what's happened to Steve Austin, but he's something's going on in there inside the mind of the Texas Rattlesnake that I just can't figure out. And so Austin continues to look back there, and so Austin tries to interfere in this match, just as you would expect, right, with these two right now, the two-man power trip. But he accidentally hits Triple H. And when he hits Triple H, we see Triple H go down. But it's not that Triple H goes going down where he got hit accidentally by Austin in the face. No, we see Triple H grab at his leg as he turns after getting hit by Austin. Triple H goes down. 79 here for this one. So Triple H is favoring this leg. Then we have The Undertaker, who grabs Steve Austin. And The Undertaker fights and brawls with Austin over towards the announce table because, of course, it's a show and we have to put somebody through the announce table. And so Taker grabs Austin and hits the choke slam on Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Austin, our WWF champion, one half of the tag team champions, after the miscalculation to accidentally hit Triple H, has just been put through the announce table by The Undertaker via the choke slam. 83 for the segment. And as that happens, it is Kane who grabs Triple H, hits the choke slam, and from there, it is Kane who defeats Triple H to win the WWF Intercontinental Championship in a shocking development on SmackDown, as Kane has won the title after Austin's miscommunication with Triple H. And now, not only has Kane won the title, Kane has the championship, Undertaker has put Austin through the announce table, and then we see Stephanie checking on Triple H, who is favoring his leg in the corner. He is down now after taking the chokeslam and the pin. Wild sequence to finish this week's edition of SmackDown. A great match here in 87. I think that's probably the most notable thing. Now, we did add the creative finish, so we did have that as one of our what are they? The storyline ideas, angle ideas, or energy, whatever it's called. We did add the creative finish to this, so that helped the match a little bit too. And also, what worked here, initially, Triple H did not want to lose this match. He said, "That doesn't work for me, brother." But, however, I was able to convince Triple H to put Kane over and have him, actually take the pin here and not have to add in all those details that would even get close. I added in everything, and he was not going to take the pin. He did not want to lose this match, but we had a promise from Triple H he would put over Kane, so that worked out great, and it works out perfect for Kane to win the Intercontinental Championship. And now a lot coming out of this because Angle and Triple H were already, pissed off. We now question the distractions, all those things. What's going to happen now? Austin just got put through the announce table. He's laying down. He's out of it. Kane is holding the Intercontinental Championship. Triple H seems to be favoring his leg. What all is going to come out of this edition of SmackDown? So there we go. That's how we wrap up the show. We get an 89. So finally, there we go. I told you guys, I thought we were going to be able to take that step up in terms of the numbers. And sure enough, we did. So we did get enough of those storylines. I was not sure about that. We did get enough of the storylines up to where they need to be. Just as a note, too, I will tell you, if you see some numbers that are a little bit different here, this has happened to me multiple times. My computer ran out of space again, and so what happened was I had to delete some space, but I could not continue the game, so I had to sort of exit out, as I keep telling you guys, and all the saves I do not do autosave because I know there's going to be something that I, screw up somewhere, and it's going to mess something up, so I was able to back out about, what segment did we get to? I think it was maybe before, it may have been before the Jericho promo. So I think we were able to back out right there. And so we got back into it. So if you notice the numbers being a little bit different than what we actually said earlier, it's because we had to back out. And so I just, basically forwarded it on to where the game froze or where my computer froze. And so we picked up from there. So again, I don't know that really changed anything. There's not much in terms of the difference in the numbers, but at least we were able to get these storyline numbers a little bit higher, and that leads to a very successful show. And also, I think it was a successful show because we put a lot of these sort of, running threads in terms of the storylines, right? We had a lot of the heavy hitters here in a lot of these angles, so that always helps. So we go from a couple lackluster shows to start with to what has always been kind of the trademark third show. Always takes a big step forward. We get it here. 89, a tremendous show for WWF SmackDown. And now, what happens after this based on a lot of significant developments coming out of this show? All right, let's see what we get to in the after show stuff. All right, so let's look at the financials. Yeah, $210,000 here. We just keep racking in the dough, selling a lot of tickets as usual on that. Let's look at our popularity recap. So yes, we take the step back up. As I said, it was going to be temporary in terms of the numbers. step goes back up here for these areas, so we're back up into the 80s. That works out well. And so let's see what we get to before we wrap up with everything else. All right, so that was SmackDown. Awesome show. So we're getting those awesome, fantastic shows again. We like those, right? Christian has developed a new catchphrase. So he did this on Sunday Night Heat. So good for Christian. If you guys want to see the Sunday Night Heat results, get a 69. Nice rating for that. Again, Sunday Night Heat's pretty much just, I try to go as quickly as I can to book these shows. I try to put in some angles that I think may help the numbers a little bit. But other than that, yeah, not a lot really being added to Heat at the moment. But Christian has developed a new catchphrase, and so we know now that's going to sell a hell of a lot of T-shirts. Good for Christian coming out of this, even though he did just lose to Jeff Hardy, so that's not good for him. But nonetheless, see if there's anything in here we need to get to. Yeah, nothing notable there except for King Kong Bundy being promoted in USA Pro. Let's look at our mail. We have 3 opinions. Oh, these are going to be wild. I just know it. All right, the first one, so Jack Lanza, Blackjack here, is behind Devon Dudley. Yeah, we're pushing Devon. He's part of the Dudley Boys, although he just got attacked by XFactor. So maybe that's why XFactor's upset, because they knew Jack Lanza was behind Devon Dudley right now. All right, Kurt Angle's got another opinion. Remember, last time we left off, Angle had an opinion that he hated Steve Blackman. What's he have now? The Good Father. Kurt Angle just wants everyone out. Kurt Angle has had a great first week of things here on the WWF Invasion save. The Good Father sells like crap. Cut him and find someone who knows how to actually work. I love Kurt Angle right now. He is just he is just a true scholar at the moment. So Kurt Angle just having a lot of fun right now. He gets a victory, and all of a sudden he's back to talking junk here towards everybody. So Angle wants the Good Father gone. Well, we'll note that. And then The Undertaker has an opinion. This could be good or bad because it's Taker, and we need something good out of this. So Crash Holly doesn't connect with the fans. You probably write him off. All right, well, boy, hey, the undercard is getting thin here with Kurt Angle wanting Blackman and the Good Father gone. Undertaker wants Crash gone, so maybe it's Hardcore Holly getting into the Undertaker's ear about Crash Holly. We'll find out on that. But there you go, guys. That was SmackDown. Hope you enjoyed it. I thought that was our, certainly it was our best show from a rating standpoint, but it was our most exciting show so far. We still kind of have the unknowns with what Eric Bischoff is doing there. But like I told you, it's going to be a slow burn. It's all going to play out. And so we are kind of keeping it sort of mysterious right now. Vince has told Triple H and Austin what he's up to, but we'll have a better idea of what Vince is up to on next week's Raw. I will tell you that up front. So, again, it's all going to play out from here, but we had a big title change. Kane wins the Intercontinental Championship. So much good stuff coming out of this SmackDown. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well, and let me know your thoughts on this week's SmackDown. What did you think? And, again, hope you're enjoying the series so far. Check out all the other series on the channel from TEW 2020. And on the next episode of our WWF Invasion 2001 save, it will be Raw is War for May Week 3.